Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming over, both in person as well as linking in for the webcast for the launch of the new Avenger series. We have with us today two very senior people from Bajaj, Mr. Sumit Narang, Vice President Marketing, and Mr. Eric Vass, President of the Motorcycle Business. Without any further ado, let me welcome Mr. Eric Vass on the stage to take us through the strategy and the thinking behind these new bikes. Mr. Eric Vass.
Slide? Yeah. I hope you can hear me clearly. So let me add my words of welcome to what Nitin has just said, and welcome to our launch for the new Avengers. At Bajaj Auto, you would know that we have created brands which are all differently positioned, and each of our brands works very hard to fulfill a unique customer need. That has been our philosophy as a company, and that's what we worked very hard over so many years to do. We have a basket of 5 brands, and all of these would be familiar to you. Pulsar, which needs no introduction, India's #1 sports motorcycle. Avenger, the brand that we're going to be focusing on today. Platina, which is our technology-laden 100cc commuter offering. CT100, which is our entry-level 100cc motorcycle. And the Discover brand, which is our 125cc motorcycle in the premium commuting segment. This year, we've already had 5 successful launches, which must be a record for any motorcycle company. And each of these 5 launches have gone ahead and established a very firm position for each of those products in the marketplace. Let me go very quickly through them. We've had the Pulsar RS200, which in a matter of 3 months became the leading motorcycle in its segment, overtaking all the other brands in that segment, in the super sport segment. The Adventure Sports Pulsar is the second launch we had this year. And that, too, has created a huge position for itself in the adventure sports segment, both Pulsars. We also launched the CT100 this year. We launched the Discover 125 this year. And we launched the Platina 100 ES this year. All 3 of these bikes have achieved great numbers in the market. They're doing extremely well. All of you must be aware of the kind of volumes that they're racking up in the market. If we look at the motorcycle industry in this country, we split it normally into 2 parts, just for ease of understanding it. We have the predominant commuter bikes, which are normally 100cc bikes or 125cc bikes. And we have the sports bikes, which are normally more than 150cc cubic capacity. And if you look at the sports bike, fundamentally, these bikes are for performance-conscious customers. These are for people who seek style and a particular attitude in riding. And normally, young people tend to get attracted to them. It's not that older people don't buy these bikes, but the vast majority of customers tend to be fairly young. When we've been looking at this motorcycle industry, we've, over the last few years, seen a very clear emergence of a new segment that we label as leisure cruising. Now, why has this segment come? What kind of customers buy bikes and what kind of bikes sell here, I'd like to spend some time to talk about. If you look at today's young people, and we look at what is it that is changing in his life and what is it that attracts him to leisure cruising, there are a couple of very powerful themes that come out. Firstly, we notice that a lot of customers are extremely educated. They're very mature for their age. And they aspire or try to lead a fairly premium lifestyle. And when I use the word premium, I don't mean 5-star lifestyle, but they like to do good things. They like to eat in nice places. They like to go to nice places. They worry about the niceness of things. They are concerned about the niceness of things. We also find that a lot of young people are independent and they stay away from home. The formation of the nuclear family, I think, in India has been very deeply embedded in this country and is getting significantly strengthened as economic development happens in India. The third trend we find with customers is that they actually seek new experiences. There was a time in this country when people used to seek assets. So the priority of a customer used to be, when can I get my first house? When can I get my first asset? Now the priority of many customers is changing from assets to experience. I think that's another very, very fundamental change which is happening in the landscape around us in terms of consumer needs and desires. And when we look further at these customers, there are a lot of customers who are deliberately choosing to have a very active lifestyle. It is not a lifestyle of which restaurant will I go to tomorrow evening. It is a lifestyle of where will I go and what point will I reach. Let me go out of the town, or let me go out of a city, or let me travel to a far-off place and experience a new thing. It's a very active lifestyle. They like to exercise, they like to get out of the house, and they like to do a lot of stuff which is physical as well. Today, with the electronic media all around us, with social media all around us, it's no surprise that communities are forming more rapidly than they used to in the past. In the past, it was very difficult to form a community. You had to find like-minded people in a close geography around you. So they had to live in the same town or the same city. Today, the community cuts across the country and indeed cuts across national boundaries as well. And these communities are extremely active. They believe in meeting frequently, digitally, even physically. Some of them travel very long distances to get together. And I think this is another expression of the active lifestyle that I spoke about earlier. So significant changes in the way people are engaging with each other and in the way they're engaging with things around themselves. And at the same time, while you have community, I think in today's world, individuality has become something on which people place a lot of premium. All of us belong to a certain group and multiple groups, but all of us want to retain that little bit which is our own. We want to be individual. We want to state our individuality. We want to stand apart from the rest of the crowd. People are increasingly more self-assured, and increasingly, while they want to say that I have many labels on me of the groups and communities I belong to, I am me, and that is my label. So when we look at these changes which is happening to consumers in the context of what we at Bajaj Auto do with our motorcycles, we believe that the motorcycle in particular, or the bike in particular, is a perfect partner in many sense to some of these emerging trends which I've just tried to outline. Yeah. And because bikes live with us day in, day out, during our working days, as well as in our weekends, we believe that the bonding between a bike and a person and his identity is a very, very critical and a deep relationship. We believe that people, when they get into this leisure space that I spoke about right at the beginning, it is not so much about just reclaiming their weekends, which I've shown on the slide. It is far, far deeper than that, because there is no need for you to have leisure only on the weekends. If indeed leisure cruising is an attitude that certain people and certain customers like to imbibe in their riding, it is something that can be done practically every day through a motorcycle. So coming to youth and leisure biking, I would now like to invite Mr. Sumit Narang, who's our head of marketing, to talk about how Bajaj Auto is going to launch today some products that we believe will address this youth and leisure biking culture which is growing in the country. So Sumit, please come up.
Well, thank you, Eric, and good morning to all of you in the room, and good morning to also all our thousands of customers who have joined us virtually through the webcast. So, what we have seen, and many of you have seen around, is that in the last few years, and really in the last about 2-3 years, The culture of biking is something that's really, really expanded. It's grown not only in the metros, but even in smaller towns, and it's grown and it's growing across all strata of society. One of the indications is the surge of biking groups that have got formed over the last few years, and most of them in the last about 24 to 36 months. So much so that leisure cruising, which was more like a niche earlier, it's now coming and emerging, and we see it as a great opportunity as a big sub-segment within the sports category. So the sports category is where we today dominate the market with our Pulsar brand, is where we find leisure cruising is something which is going to be a segment of huge growth in the coming years. And we at Bajaj Auto, we have always been committed to meeting needs of various kind of customers, addressing different segments with our products. And similarly, we have been committed to leisure cruising for a long time, and today we are looking at strengthening this commitment with 3 huge new steps. We identified this about 10 years back, and that's when Avenger got launched in 2005. Stylish, comfortable cruiser, which ended up getting a strong fan following and became a cult amongst its customers. It was a huge and an instant hit with the biking community. And pretty much, it became a partner in their adventures and rides. Now, there is no greater testimony to the success and acceptance of Avenger than something like this, that over the last about 7-8 years, if we look at an average cumulative growth rate for this brand, it's been about 3 times of that of the total motorcycle market. So while over the last 7-8 years, we find the motorcycle industry has grown at an average of about 9%, Avenger as a brand has grown by about 26%, almost 3 times the growth rate. And that's where we believe we are at the threshold of another big and another huge opportunity amongst cruisers. What is it that the customers want? So as we spoke to them, as we understood their requirements, what would get more and more customers into cruising? What would their dream cruiser be? And we found that there were 3 things that they were looking for. One was international styling. I think when it comes to style and design, Bajaj Auto has always been on the forefront, and that's something that the customers wanted. They also wanted easier handling. They wanted a bike which could be a great cruiser over the weekends, but also fairly easy to handle during the weekdays when they're commuting to work and back. And we all know what our traffic conditions are like. And more importantly, while they wanted this dream bike, they wanted something that was relevant to their needs, their requirements, and their rational value aspirations. So with that kind of a brief is where we decided to move ahead and create our offerings, which we'll be sharing today. So the moment's here. We'd like to welcome all the new Avengers that we will be rolling out into the market that would meet this demand, and we are very confident will not only be loved and liked by our customers, but actually get many, many more customers into cruising, because that's the kind of bike they've been waiting for, and expand this segment. So let's take a look at the first offering we've got today. So introducing to you the Avenger 220 Cruise. That's the first offering we'll be talking about today. So let's take a look at what are some of the salient aspects of this bike. It's a classic cruiser, as the visual was very clear for you. It retains the iconic style and design of Avenger that people have loved. There's a low-slung seating with an extra cushioning for more comfort. It comes with a 220cc DTSI engine. There is a wide rear tire for comfort and stability, and a long wheelbase which provides, again, further comfort and the kind of ride quality people want while cruising. There are also some significant changes and improvements we brought about in the bike. For example, it comes with all new insignia and graphics, which gives it a totally new, fresh, and international look. People love a lot of chrome in their classic cruisers, and the Avenger 220 Cruise comes with really liberal doses of chrome. Whether it is the silencer, whether it is the oil cooler cover, whether it is the side grab rails, there has been liberal and increased doses of chrome on the Avenger 220 Cruise. And it comes with a redesigned handlebar. So it's a raised comfort cruising handlebar that this bike comes with. But don't just take my word for it. Let's take a look at the bike up close. So I'd like to welcome on stage the Avenger 220 Cruise. Should we continue? Okay, let's continue. We'll have enough time for photographs later as well. I'll just request my friends to settle down. We've got more to come. So that, my dear friends, is the Avenger Cruise 220. Let's go further. Like Eric talked a lot about youth and the demands and what they look for, their lifestyle. And youth will always demand more, and they'll always like something more than that. So young bikers, the younger ones who want to get into cruising, they want their cruisers to have more sportiness. They want their cruisers to be more versatile. And we've got a fresh new offering for them, a completely new offering. So introducing for a lot of our customers, the Avenger 220 Street, and that is our second offering today. As you can see, distinctly different from the Avenger Cruise, younger, sportier, sexier. What are some of the key salient features of the Avenger Street? Let's just talk about it. First of all, the Street comes with a much flatter, what we would call as a street handlebar for easier handling and maneuverability in cities. So it's a great cruiser on the highways and with fantastic maneuverability even in the busy streets. It comes with alloy wheels. It comes in a matte black finish. So, so that bike comes with a lot of shades of black and dark wheels. It's got a new grab rail to complement the sporty look. Let's take a look closely at what this bike is all about. So over to you on the screens. So that, my dear friends, is the Avenger 220 Street. And as you can see, the kind of things I was talking about, sporty, dark, just made for turning the city roads into great riding destinations. All right, let's carry on, and we'll have time for more photographs later. Thank you very much. So those are the two new Avenger 220s. I think they've got their timeless designs, and they're distinctly new. Now, we talked about some features which have changed or which are new, which are salient features in these bikes. There are 1,000 changes that have gone into these bikes to make them significantly superior and distinctly new. I won't go into all of them, but whether it is the Cruise 220 or it is the Street 220, there are several changes which have gone into them. We talked about some of the salient ones, but in addition to that, whether it is the new oil cooler cover or it's the flexible indicators, the seat cushioning, the new silencer design, a lot of things have changed. So those are what have gone into giving it this great new smart look as well as performance. Now, 2 is a great number for us to launch today, 2 great new bikes, but then 3 is always a big party, so let's go for the 3rd big surprise. And you must have been wondering, what is this that's been lying here undercover? That's the surprise package for the day today. We believe if cruising is something that people are wanting to go for, it should not be restricted. It's something which anybody, everybody would want to get into. There is a large mass market, and the right kind of cruisers should be available and targeting that segment as well. So the same kind of performance, the same kind of styling, the same kind of an attitude is going to be available to a large segment as well, with the completely all-new Avenger 150 Street. So what you saw over here was the Avenger 220 Street. Our 3rd and an absolutely new offering is the Avenger 150 Street. The Avenger 150 Street comes with an all newly configured 150cc engine. So first of all, it's a cruiser form in a 150cc, which is great and new, and I'm sure many customers have been waiting for it. It's a 150cc DTSI engine in a new configuration. It delivers 14.5 PS of power and 12.5 torque. The engine has been tuned to deliver even 10% better torque at lower and mid-range compared to some of our own other 150cc offerings like the Pulsar 150. It's got improved NVH characteristics, and it's got a new silencer, which gives it a great high bass aural notes. So I would like to request our president, Mr. Eric Vass, to come here and on the stage and introduce and welcome the Avenger 150 Street. So we'll have time for a photo op soon. Let's just complete the presentation. So those are the 3 new Avengers for the day. The Avenger Cruise 220, Avenger Street 220 in matte black, and the Avenger Street 150 in midnight blue. And those are the 3 colors that these bikes come in. Divine black for the Cruise 220, matte black for the Street 220, and midnight blue for the Street 150. And finally, the pricing. What does this great package come for? And that's what we are really confident will delight our customers. So here it is. It's a pricing that will delight our customers, and we believe it will also grow the segment for cruising. The 220 Street and the 220 Cruise will be available at an ex-showroom price, Delhi, of 84,000 rupees only. And the 150 Street would be available at a great ex-showroom price, Delhi, for 75,000 rupees. So those are the three great products with their absolutely amazing prices. So the new Avengers are here. We believe with these three Avengers, we are offering some great choices to customers, meeting different requirements. They're coming with styling, with pricing, with everything that would delight them, and nothing short of that, and something that's going to be driving this segment and growing the cruiser segment. So that's Avenger for you. Great products, something that will make our customers feel nothing less, nothing short, but feel like God. So thank you very much. That's the end of the presentation. And I'd like to invite Mr. Eric Vass on stage for the photo op, please. You can put it here.